Hello, fellow classmates and aging professionals. My name is Ashley Cofield, and I'd like to welcome you to the Promenade in Old Town Bluffton, South Carolina. The Promenade is a square mile of newly renovated shops, galleries, and restaurants perched on the bluff of the May River. I chose to assess the Promenade for two reasons. The first because it is newly renovated, so I feel it should have state-of-the-art design and be aging-friendly. The second reason, because it is an important area in our town, one of the only ones like it. So I feel it's beneficial to see what age-friendly components it has or lacks, so that other areas in the town that want to renovate can use the Promenade as a guide. Using the World Health Organization's checklist of essential features of age-friendly cities, today I assessed walkability. Before we get started with our tour, though, I'd like to briefly discuss walkability and its importance to age-friendly cities. In a report prepared by Dan Burton in 2008, walkability was defined as the extent to which the built environment is friendly to the presence of people walking, living, shopping, visiting, enjoying, or spending time in the area. When considering walkability, we need to discuss how safely, easily, and comfortably people may walk about the neighborhood. Walkability is considered a key element of age-friendly cities because it enhances the mobility and independence of older adults. The Walkability and Visitability chapter of the Livable New York Resource Manual, prepared by Vera Prosper in 2011, stated this: a walkable community encourages interaction among the age groups and cultural groups. This is particularly critical for frail older people and people with disabilities, both of whom have a greater vulnerability to social isolation. Let's start with a quick tour of the area, keeping in mind our focus of walkability, and let's see if you can pick out any age-friendly components or areas where you feel the city is lacking. let's take a closer look at both the supports and barriers for walkability that we saw within the promenade. Our first concept of walkability to discuss is pedestrian crossings. The first thing I notice here is a lack of supplemental signs. Pedestrian crossing signs, like this, should be posted around the area to alert motorists that they can expect pedestrians and bicyclists to cross. Our pedestrian crossing is marked by white lines, making a visible distinction for motorists and pedestrians, which is the support for walkability. I would like to see, though, a crosswalk that is both raised and textured because it creates a natural speed bump and makes pedestrians even more visible to motorists. Another possible way to increase awareness of the crosswalk and ensure safety would be to install a crosswalk warning light system. Light fixtures are installed along both edges of the crosswalk within the street and project yellow flashing lights that are visible during the day and night. Lighting is another barrier that I see within this crosswalk. Keeping a crosswalk well lit at night not only helps motorists to see pedestrians, but makes walking much easier for those pedestrians. Lighting should be installed on all corners of the streets. I have particular concerns about this crosswalk because it is an area of high traffic. I would definitely like to see some changes made and some enhancements made to the design. When age or functional disabilities reduce a person's mobility, sight, or hearing, a good design becomes very important. Our second concept of walkability to discuss is curbing. You can see here that we have a support for walkability with non-slip curbing. An enhanced support to this would be to add bollards at this corner. Bollards are short vertical posts that protect pedestrians at intersections. The World Health Organization lists bicycle paths that are separate from pavements and other pedestrian crossings as an essential feature of an age-friendly city. This is our third concept of walkability to discuss. Over here, we see a path that is wide enough for both bikes and pedestrians. But you can see, as we continue our tour, the promenade is lacking separate bike and walkway paths, and current paths are not wide enough for both. Our fourth concept of walkability are pavements. Pavements along the promenade are non-slip, wide enough for wheelchairs, have dropped curves to road levels, and are well maintained and free of obstructions. All of these are great supports for walkability. As you can see within our tour, the promenade and areas within are clean and pleasant. This is another concept in the World Health Organization's checklist. This makes walking, socializing, and shopping much more enjoyable. Continuous sidewalks are another important aspect of walkability. We want to make sure that there is a continuous flow for pedestrians to access the shops and restaurants within the promenade. Our sidewalk ends here, even though the buildings continue. I would like to see this continued on so that we can access other buildings. A great support for walkability that I found within the promenade are pedestrian street lamps. Although the crosswalk lacked sufficient lighting, they did a good job in their design of making sure the crosswalks by the shops and galleries are well lit. Lastly, the World Health Organization lists green spaces and outdoor seating as an essential feature of an age-friendly city. This sitting area is one of the highlights of the promenade. There is ample seating and it is spacious and wheelchair accessible. It gives pedestrians an area to relax and socialize while they enjoy the promenade. Throughout our tour, we've touched on both supports and barriers within the promenade for our concepts of pedestrian crosswalks, curbing, sidewalks and pavements, pedestrian street lamps, separate bicycle paths, clean and pleasant spaces, and green spaces and outdoor seating. Overall, I feel the design is well fit for walkability. Adding a few of the enhancements that we discussed along the way, though, will put the promenade well towards its way to becoming aging friendly. References: Checklist of Essential Features of Age-Friendly Cities, World Health Organization, 2007. Dan Burden, Walkable Communities, and Gladding, Jackson, Kirshner, Anglin, Incorporated. September 2008, Walkability, Sault Ste. Marie. Prosper Vera, Walkability, Visitability. Livable New York Resource Manual, Albany, New York. New York State Office for the Aging.